Welcome to this channel, guys, and this is a very beautiful Tuesday, the 8th of February. Politics of this country are unfolding day in, day out, thick and thin. Yesterday, Francis Atwoli, the COTU boss, was attending a universal health coverage conference in Mombasa alongside President Uhuru Kenyatta. In that meeting, it is evident that there are elements within State House that do not really like Francis Atwoli, because Atwoli said that despite him being a very key player in the trade union movement, the protocol officers within State House did not include his name amongst the speakers of the day. And so it took the intervention of Uhuru Kenyatta to make sure that Atwoli gets the chance to talk. And I want to understand that some of the reasons why they did not want Atwoli to talk is that there are still people within State House that do not welcome President Uhuru Kenyatta's endorsement of Raila Odinga. And so any event or any political leader that they see as someone who is going to be a campaign champion for Raila Uhuru candidate, for Raila Uhuru deal, is really viewed as their enemy. And so the move not to welcome Atwoli to speak was deliberate. But when he was given the microphone, he did what exactly the people that blocked him wanted him not to do. They did not expect him to go and campaign for Raila Odinga. And in his campaigns, he actually made this announcement. He made this statement that caused a lot of uproar amongst the Tanga politicians. I want to give you a second so that you listen to this speech, this few seconds last bit, where Atwoli spoke about William Ruto will commit suicide after the general election. So I want to give you time to listen to it so that when we come back, we do analysis, because our analysis is going to be based on that. We saw that William Ruto's head of communications, the new appointee Hussein Mohamed, wrote a really long-worded letter and a response to what Atwoli said in Mombasa. Now, I'm looking at this in two ways. First, before I diverge on some of the contents of that letter, I want to say that William Ruto was actually and is trying to avoid public confrontation with Francis Atwoli. And he has actually left that job to Musalia Mudavadi and Papa Waroma Moses Masika Wetangula. But he doesn't want to engage Francis Atwoli. In that letter, I realized that I just want you to get a little bit of the sections of the letter. I hope I'm having it here. Because in that letter, there are things that they spoke about. And one of the things I've realized that is coming out, like I want to get to this statement. Since the UDA party leader William Ruto is confident of a win in 2022 presidential election, the usual this is the fourth paragraph, the usual losers want to take us down this path where winning and losing becomes a life and death affair, stirring emotions to cause violence and prepared stage to reject the will of Kenyans. So what William Ruto is trying to say there indirectly here is that if he loses the Agaist general elections, he's going to concede. And so, on the other hand, he's saying that the reason why, if Atwoli is saying that the elections would be a do or die, then they are actually setting a stage to reject the results in any case that Raila Odinga loses. I don't know whether, guys, you agree with that assertion. There is this other part. We understand, that is, I think, the last bit of it. To use suicide as humor in electioneering at a national health function attended by Health Cabinet Secretary and presided by the head of state, consequently finding it funny, is a demonstration of just how far these elites are from realities and struggles of Kenyan hustler. The contempt of the row is mind-boggling. And Apochin, they're saying that, it is such reckless and dehumanizing acts that bottom-up approach seeks to address by decriminalizing, restoring, and upholding the dignity of millions of hardworking Kenyans, giving them opportunity to prosper. Now, what William Ruto is trying to say here is this, that Atwoli's statement, even though he made it in a very in humor, and I am on record saying that, yes, I don't fancy Atwoli as a politician, but I like his comics and the way he delivers his message. Now, William Ruto is saying that the fact that Atwoli was talking about a suicide, it means, first, that is one of the problems that is facing Kenyans. And that problem is caused by mental health. Kenyans are poor, so mentally they are disturbed. And so the hustler nation is coming up with interventions to make sure they're uplifted. And for me, I'm looking at it as just a new way of doing things. And I've always maintained that not every other thing you need to respond in public. It is not a must you respond to everything in public. Now, apart from that, we also saw the Tanga wing have really rose against Atwoli. And one of person I really feel that supports William Ruto is Boniface Mwangi, because he also did a tweet, and I want to get that tweet for you. He did a tweet and said, Francis Atwoli is a billionaire who has never worked anywhere else apart from Post and Workers Union. How did he become billionaire, rich enough to finance national politics? Atwoli's job description is to fight for workers' rights. Does he do this job? What are his achievements? So, guys, before we continue, I'm going to look at why. If you're watching this video and you've not yet subscribed, take a second and subscribe. Also, click the notification bell so that when we publish a video, you will be automatically be notified, and also give us a feedback. Now, I have 3 reasons why I think that William Ruto team are getting agitated with Francis Atwoli's statement. 1, Francis Atwoli is actually seen as the face of deep state out of the State House. So when Atwoli said that William Ruto is going to lose and is going to commit suicide, they first felt like it is already casted on the stone that election is being decided. And so according to them, they feel like Atwoli is saying that there is no probability of them losing, bringing that narrative of that even if they vote, their votes might be stolen. That is one thing. That is why they are so hungry with Francis Atwoli. They are feeling like that was a message that was sent to Francis Atwoli to tell him that whatever happens on 9th August, he must lose the general election. 3, Francis Atwoli is also one of the critics of Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula. And I think is the person who has been trying to reduce the 2 leaders that are working with William Ruto to village elders. Atwoli is on record saying that he will make sure that none of those leaders is actually elected into office. And he was also blamed, the Kenya Kwanza team blamed him for having bribed some of the MPs to ditch ANC and form the DAPK. So he's seen as someone who is a very thorny issue to the Western vote. And that is why whatever he says is something that they must take serious. It is not about this issue of the suicide. I don't think that is it. That is just trying to circumvent, and of course in the world of communication, there is always a right to reply. And that is what they are trying to practice. But they are very bitter with none other than Francis Atwoli. Thirdly, I think Francis Atwoli is also seen as someone who is financing and supporting Raila Odinga directly. There are more than 10 meetings that have been held at his Kajiado home, the Kwale, the Kilifi home, and more. And so these fellas normally know that Atwoli is someone who is campaigning for Raila Odinga. And Raila Odinga is William Ruto's direct opposition, direct competitor. So that is why they have to veil these attacks against Francis Atwoli. And he doesn't care. He's been there. He doesn't even respond to them. So guys, what do you think about that letter? And why Atwoli, they have finally ganged up against him? Is it on the merit? Is it on the content of the letter? Or it is just a political attack? Tell us what you think in the comment section.